Rock climbing here at Horseshoe Canyon Ranch near Jasper. It's become somewhat of a climber's mecca in the Mid-South, and on this week's episode, we'll show you why. And then we'll take you all the way down south to near Magnolia and take you through Falcon Bottoms Natural Area. And we'll close it out at picturesque Bayou Bluff north of Hector in the Ozark National Forest. So for now, how about we conquer the rock? Yeah.
Move my feet around. Your feet, they play just as big as role as your handhold does. So that's just the thrill of lead climbing right there. The thrill of lead climbing right there, just being above your bolt.
With more than 300 climbing routes on nature's magnificent sculpted rock, Horseshoe Canyon Ranch, located 7.5 miles west of Jasper off Highway 74, is considered to be one of the best climbing areas east of the Rockies.
Oh yeah, people come from all over, sure. It's a destination spot. It's beautiful, easy access. It's in the shade, as you could tell, for the most part until we climbed above the trees. And then there are routes that you can climb in the shade, even though it does get hot. So it's just a great climbing spot.
A top-notch climber you don't have to be to enjoy the climbing here at Horseshoe Canyon. Beginner routes are available even for the novice of novices like me. That's about the trick to it. Find your hands and find your feet.
Started climbing back in 2003 or 2002, and spent some time out west, out Portland, Oregon area. And out there, it's just 10 minutes from the apartment in either direction. There's good climbing. So it was easy access, and just I did it more for camaraderie and being around friends. And did it for the exercise, for the excitement. So,
it is definitely exciting.
Yeah, it's got a thrill to it.
And I guess that's what it is. It's the rush of, and it's the conquering a chunk of rock. I guess is the whole premise behind it.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's the challenge between you and the rock. It's just you're battling up against it, and each person has their own limits, and it's just you could see and push yourself to find out your own limit, and that's always good.
Equipment, of course, is the key. I mean, these shoes. I don't know who designed the shoes, but I mean, it's you couldn't do it without the shoes.
Right.
I don't think.
Yep. As you notice, the shoes are smaller, and they just really are designed just to grab the rock better, and so you could toe in, and really is the main equipment for success on your climb.
Well, besides the rope. Okay.
Yeah, you need that, right?
I got involved with this probably 6 or 7 years ago. A lot of my friends were doing it in a climbing gym, and they invited me to come, and I was a little scared, but I really wanted to do something new and exciting. So I started climbing with them and found that it was a lot of fun. I was a little concerned at first because my hands aren't real strong and I didn't have a lot of muscle like a lot of my friends did. And what I found was that really wasn't important. Another thing was because they were all taller and bigger than me, I thought that I wouldn't be as good. But what I found was it's really not about strength or size. It's about technique, it's about using your legs, and it's really about figuring out, it's like a problem, like you have to figure out what to do next. So you have to use your mind. One of the greatest things I love about it is that it challenges me to push myself beyond what I think my limits are. And the greatest thrill is when I am faced with an area, you know, where I don't know how I'm going to make the next move, and I work at it and think about it, and I finally get it, and then I actually make it. It's just the greatest thrill ever. It's such a feeling of accomplishment and success. So everybody does it at their own level, and each person has their own goals and challenges, and I just love it.
I guess that's why people try and climb Mount Everest.
That's right. That's right. I could see where, you know, the further you go along, you just want to do more and more. And I know with each level that I am able to achieve, then I'm ready for the next one. So I'm not ready for Mount Everest yet, though.
You know, I climb because it's hard to describe if you haven't done it, but once you do it one time, you go, oh, that's why they do this, because a lot of people have said, that's crazy, why would you do that? And you let them do it one time and they're like, okay, I get it. So, you know, it's the people, it's being outdoors, it's doing something that's a little bit risky or different, you know, and the camaraderie, the climbing community is generally just really cool people, take care of each other, take care of the land, you know, which is extremely important. It's taking care of these climbing areas.
Now, as far as the person's physical ability, is it more on the feet, or is it more on the hands, or what do you think?
It's more in the mind. Some of the strongest climbers I've ever seen were females that didn't show any signs of muscle. It's really all in the mind. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have some muscles and nice big forearms, but more times than not, what gets you up a climb is going to be your mind. And secondly, it's going to be your legs. If you rely on your arms, you can forget it. You're going to be pumped, you're halfway through it. It's all in the legs and in the mind.
Kind of like what I saw.
And you got to keep moving. Staying stationary is just a killer. It gets you pumped, and just, you got to keep moving. That's the key.
Yep, gotta keep moving. I'll be sure and remember that the next time, since I kinda got stuck halfway up the rock. Somebody, anybody, pry me off. Well, the problem is they're not only got tired, they got too sweaty. Falcon Bottoms Natural Area near Magnolia with Bayou Dorcheat running through it. This is a relatively undisturbed area complete with rare species and a varied plant community. A wonderful place to explore. And I see some fish over there too. Let's go.
It's a small area. It's a small wilderness area. It's 3,000 acres right now, and it's only about a mile wide because it goes along the bayou, and of course that's where all the old growth forest is still left because it was hard to harvest, you know, back in the old days, and definitely now with all the heavy equipment. But it's a small wilderness area that the intention is to protect the trees and the animal species and the birds. So, some recreation is allowed, but you have to walk in. And so limited recreation. This place will only support limited recreation. It's not for the faint of heart because there's everything here from rattlesnakes to alligators to
Huge mosquitoes.
huge mosquitoes,
Flies.
horse flies. But it's great for study.
Sarah Johnson is quite familiar with this natural area. She spent most of her life enjoying it with her grandfather before donating a good portion of it to the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission.
I guess that was my dream from as early as I can recall, is to protect this area whatever way I could. And I grew up here with my grandfather. He actually bought a lot of the land down here for 25 cents an acre back in the 20s and settled it, and of course I was raised here. And so he always took me with him logging. He had a mule team. And he took me logging with him, and so I grew to love the place because he knew it like the back of his hand. So I always wanted to save it for him and for everybody else to see because it's such a beautiful place and there's not many left. And this is this is where they used to come picnic in the summer. They'd get in a wagon and bring it up here and picnic and swim.
Natural areas protect the last remnants of Arkansas's original wild landscape.
This is the only spot this side of the Mississippi or west of the Mississippi that has the laurel oak. It's an almost evergreen tree, so it keeps its leaves most of the year round. And there's sparkleberry, which is really huckleberry. There's a lot of huckleberries. And there are wild azaleas and dogwoods and orchids and cherry bark oak and cow oak. There's just a real diverse species of trees here and a lot of different kinds of landscapes too.
This natural area is also called Dorcheat Bottoms by the locals because of the bayou that runs through it and is considered to be one of the most intact and important streams west of the Ouachita River.
It begins up at Prescott, and which is only about maybe 20 miles from here. It begins somewhere up in the hills back in Prescott, what little hills there are, but there are some hills there, and it flows through here all the way to Lake Bistineau and Shreveport. And Lake Bistineau, of course, is right on the Red River. And this place is called Dorcheat because I did some research and found it one of some book somewhere that Dorcheat was really, the original name of it meant, it was French Indian word called dachi, and it means bear gnawing on a log. Because the first time they ever, like the explorers, I can't remember which explorer it was, but the first time that they encountered Dorcheat, there was bear gnawing on a log. So they named it dachi, and it got mispronounced over the years to the word Dorcheat. You know, so I thought that was some pretty interesting history.
I see something jumping around in there. I guess there is stocked pretty good with fish here. I guess you've fished here.
I have in the past, years ago. I mean, surprisingly, it has a good stock of crappie and bass and some other species like catfish and goggle eye, and it also has a really unique fish, a strawberry brim, which is really pretty. It looks like a strawberry, it's so red. So it has a lot of those.
The first tract of land to become Falcon Bottoms Natural Area was acquired in 1991. Additional tracts were added during the 90s. Then acquisitions from 2000 to 2003 enabled the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission to link isolated fragments of old-growth hardwood bottomland habitat. But according to Sarah, the job here is not finished.
All of the Dorcheat Bayou in Louisiana is protected by a national provision called the National Scenic Rivers. And My dream is to see the Arkansas portion of Dorcheat Bayou protected by the National Scenic River. It would have to be renamed and claimed as the National Scenic River. With that designation, it would be fully protected. Right now, it's not fully protected.
So if you'd like to explore a wilder version of Arkansas, pay a visit to one of the many natural areas in the natural state. A complete list can be found at naturalheritage.com. But taking a dip in the swamp water, like our intern Trevin Bird did, is not advisable, because you never know when a water moccasin might decide to join you.
I'm doing it surfing.
Bayou Bluff, north of Hector in the Ozark National Forest, has always been one of those well-kept secret areas by the locals. We decided it was high time that we came here and checked it out for ourselves, especially since the fishing's supposed to be pretty good here in the Illinois Bayou River. So, let's go do a little exploring.
Yeah, it's one of the forest's little hidden gems. It's only got 7 camping units, two up on the top and the rest down here. It has CCC constructed pavilion. It's also got some cabins that shelter you. A lot of the locals use it. We get quite a bit of business on the weekends. It's got a few swimming holes along it here in the Illinois Bayou. So yeah, it's a pretty popular local place, especially in the summer when the heat gets up and the humidity and you want to get a little relief from that.
Located 6 miles north of Hector off Highway 27, Bayou Bluff is a wonderful place to camp. There are 7 family camping units, 3 of which have historic Civilian Conservation Corps stone shelters that were built by the workers on projects like this all across the country back during the 1930s.
Well, what you have is a typical recreation area that the CCC WPA built. The stonework is very typical of the work that they did. The shelter was very typical of that kind of construction built in the late 1930s by those folks that were here. All the rock work that you see here, all the stone stairways, all the rock walls, all the buildings are very typical of the rustic type of architectural style that they used. And it's just very typical of what the Civilian Conservation Corps did in this area.
What is so impressive about the work that the CCC accomplished is not only the longevity of what they built, but the superb quality of the craftsmanship.
Yeah, they had some really good stonemasons, and they had some really good carpenters that knew how to work with log structures and did really well. And it's just amazing. And this is just another example on this forest of that kind of work.
A visit to Bayou Bluff wouldn't be complete without doing a little exploring along the 1.2-mile loop hiking trail that will take you along the area's picturesque bluffs overlooking the Illinois Bayou River and featuring some spectacular and breathtaking scenery.
It goes, starts here on the lower loop and goes right along the Illinois Bayou, and then it circles back around after about a half a mile and comes out in the upper loop. And then there's a trail that comes from the upper loop down to this lower loop.
And so I guess some pretty good views from the trail.
Yeah, there should be some pretty good views, although with all the greenery it might be a little harder to see, but yeah, there's openings along there where you can see the water.
We mentioned earlier about the fishing in the Illinois Bayou River. Although I really didn't get any visible proof on my line, there are large and smallmouth bass in this river, along with spotted bass. Maybe you'll have a little bit better luck than I did and be able to land one of them. There are user fees at this recreation area. Regular campsites are $7 per day during the summer and $4 in the winter. A campsite with one of the stone shelters is a $10 summer fee and $7 in the winter. And that's not bad, considering what this area has to offer as far as scenic beauty with a pristine, picturesque river running through it. So check out Bayou Bluff for yourself, north of Hector in the Ozark National Forest. And for more on this destination, plus many of our others, and to view our maps or to order a copy of an episode, visit our website, aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.
Outdoor apparel and gear provided by Lewis and Clark Outfitters, located in Springdale and Rogers.